Hello, folks. Joko here from IELTStemple.blogspot.com with another video review of a member's essay. This would be a causes and solutions essay about the topic of why are people less fit and active than they used to be? Well, I think that topic is debatable, the premise, but this essay is from Mr. First, let me introduce myself. I'm an IELTS instructor, an English teacher, really. Actually, right now I'm more of a manager than anything else. I don't get to teach as much as I used to. So I do my teaching online because they've got me doing admin stuff. And my website is IELTStemple.blogspot.com. Come visit. My Facebook page is at IELTStemple. Type that in. Now, when I review an essay, I use a color code to give my feedback. The red is actually now pink, task response, meaning that is this a clear support? Is this clearly supporting the essay? Everything that you write in an IELTS essay, task 1 or task 2, needs to be addressing the question. Anything that's off topic is a waste of time and will hurt you. Blue, C&C. Yellow, lexical. Green is grammar. Here's this essay from Word Counter. I think that Mr. Godwinsmith said it was 303 words, actually 326. But that's fine, as long as it's under 330. You use the word foods 6 times. Now, foods, as we'll get to, is a it is possible to use the word food as a countable noun. But it's 99% of the time uncountable. So foods by itself you have used incorrectly. You can't have a plural uncountable noun. All right, let's get to it. What's the question? People are not as fit and active as they were in the past. What are the reasons for this? What measures can be taken for this? Kind of awkward wording in the second question there. What measures can be taken to counteract this? To improve the situation, to reduce obesity? I don't know. Actually, the question does not talk about obesity. It just says people are not as fit. And when we break it down, then this is an important phrase, which is not discussed in the essay very much. In the past, you need to compare how people are doing things now. And if you want to say, what are the causes of it, you have to reference in the past. But no, we don't get that. All right.
It is an undeniable fact that in recent trends, many people lack fitness and remain indolent, when compared to past generations. Although crave for high-calorie foods and automated living have caused a retrograding trend in one's health, it can be rectified by regular awareness campaigns and encouraging physical activities.
I will start by saying that, Mr. Robinson, here's to you. I have not had an essay where I've had to deal with so many vocabulary. This essay is filled with more of my yellow than any other essay I can ever remember doing. Now, it is an undeniable fact. I would disagree with that. And anything that someone can deny, okay, people, I said this already in your post, that people remain indolent. Well, let's forget about what it means is that people are lazier now than they used to be in the past. I can point to very specific examples that counter that thought. In my parents' generation, there was no such thing as a gym membership. Jogging was something that people did when they wanted to get away from someone. The fitness, the idea of fitness is new. 100 years ago, no one cared about fitness. And so it is not an undeniable fact. You're just using that because you think it's a good way to start an essay. And in this case, it's inaccurate. In recent trends, no, you can't have in trends. In recent times, there has been a trend wherein many people lack fitness, okay, and remain indolent, super lazy. This comma is not needed when compared to past generations. Although crave is the infinitive, is the verb one for crave. I mean, and although the craving would be the gerund for high calorie should have a hyphen. Foods. Food is uncountable. So you would say food. And automated living. What does that mean? Automated living. Have caused a retrograding trend. See, here's the thing. I'm going to say this right now. We're going to see 100 more examples of this. But English is not a game. English is not, or an IELTS writing is not a game where you're going to try to take words that are sort of like what you want to say and fit them in because you think it is showing off your vocabulary. I don't know. Here's the thing. English is a language, just like your own native language is. Now, by an accident of history, English has a lot more words than most languages do. And it's, again, just an accident of history that it's the world language. But how would you translate retrograding trend in your language? Would you use this phrase? To retrograde, I don't even think that's a word. Retrograde is an adjective. So you can't have a retrograding trend. In one's health. Okay. It can be rectified. What is it? It's unclear. This trend can be rectified by regular awareness campaigns and encouraging. Okay. Oh God. Here we go. Body paragraph number 1.
To start with, predominantly there are two factors responsible for these issues. Firstly, the widespread nature of fast food culture has a significant effect on one's daily activities. These foods are enriched with high salt and sugar contents, which undoubtedly escalates the person's crave for high-calorie foods. Moreover, if they burn no calories, obviously they become obese and eventually leads to lose of shape. Secondly, owing to automation in everything, humans tend to develop laziness. To exemplify, rather than walking to nearby shops or outlets, people commute using automobiles or choose doorstep deliveries, which abruptly reduces the day-to-day activities a person is involved in. Consequently, they become indolent and inactive over a period of time.
There's that word indolent again. All right. To start with, there are two predominant factors responsible for these issues. Well, predominantly is not in a good spot there. There are two predominant factors. And for these issues, I think that a new paragraph starts all referencing, use of pronouns all over again. So, to start with, which is not a good way to start, but there are two predominant factors responsible for the decrease in fitness that we see in the world today. Firstly, the widespread nature of fast food culture. What does these mean? Widespread nature of fast food culture. All right. So the widespread nature of fast food culture. Okay, don't dwell on it. I would say it differently. I would say that firstly, the broad influence of fast food on the culture has had a significant effect on people's daily activities. Oh, really? Activities. Okay. As compared to the past. Remember, we're supposed to talk about the past. But you don't actually talk about this. This first point is about food, the composition of food, which has nothing to do with activities. Activities, okay, so fast food does not affect people's activities because you don't mention it. These foods, this food, this type of food, food is uncountable, are enriched. Well, enrich means to make better. This food has a high salt and sugar content, not contents, which undoubtedly, and you don't need an adjective or an adverb before every key word, which escalates a person's craving for high calorie food. How? How does it do that? Why does it do that? It is said that this type of food increases a person's cravings for that it encourages people to crave more of it. For example, uh, a study by blah, 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 blah. Anyway, that could really use some support. Moreover, now usually I hate the word moreover because most people use it to describe something that is not more important than the last thing that came before it. And you're actually okay here. You use moreover correctly. Yay. If they, who are they, burn no calories, obviously they become obese and eventually, okay, obviously they become obese. Oh, obviously. Why obviously? Moreover, when people don't burn calories, they become obese. This if thing here, you're trying to use the first conditional. And the first conditional is something that is always true. And you know what? There's lots of people who burn no calories and stay the same weight. Okay, obviously they burn obese, and this eventually leads to lose of shape. What do you think becoming obese is? Becoming obese means losing your shape. Secondly, owing to automation in everything, such as humans tend to develop laziness, become lazy. We develop good things. And don't use humans. Humans is for scientific essays about animals and such. To exemplify, no, we don't use this phrase. We say, for example, rather than walking to nearby, this is one word, nearby, shops or outlets. What's an outlet? And do we only walk to shops? What about walking to a friend's house? People commute. No, commute is what we do to go to work and back. Or choose doorstep deliveries. Huh? Doorstep deliveries. Or have things delivered, which abruptly, what does abruptly means all of a sudden, quickly. Why is it abruptly reduces? The day-to-day activities. Huh? What? Why activities? Activities is a lot more than just going down to the shops. Consequently, who are they, become indolent and inactive over a period of time. All right. There are ways of expressing these ideas clearly. So your ideas are not the problem. Okay, you have the right ideas. You just need to state them in simple English, not this gobbledygook, this use of that you need an adjective before every noun, an adverb before every verb. No, this does not help you with Lexis. It reduces your lexical score because you're not using these words clearly. However, There are certain remedies suggested by experts. Okay, now here you're using a passive voice. Good. You want to show a variety of grammatical forms. But why do we use the passive? Well, for one reason would be that we want to distance ourselves, and another reason is it doesn't matter who says it. Here, it doesn't fit one of the reasons why we would use the passive. So this should be in the active. However, experts suggest a few remedies to overcome, to address the detrimental effects. One of the commendable steps, how about one thing they recommend is instilling, one of the commendable steps is to instill, no, is you want to use the ing form here, is instilling a fear of long-term disease, not plural. We're talking about disease in general, and when talking in general, we don't need the plural. Developed by consuming junk foods. Again, food is uncountable. This, we want to instill the fear. This instilling of fear can be done by spreading awareness and by spreading awareness or exposing. Yes, you're going to spread awareness by exposing people to continuous advertising, which not describes, okay, advertisements, plural, you don't need the S, the harmful effects of these foods. Such as, can you tell me what these campaigns would be? No, you just say that it's one of the solutions. You don't describe it. In addition, sports or any physical activity should be encouraged to take part in physical activity, such as sports. Research. Research is uncountable, so you can't have research. I love this. I love this example. This is silly. So between two teams, two groups, states. Research doesn't state. Research finds that the group which performed physical activities and so on, was found to maintain a slender figure compared to the other group which remained idle. So what you're saying here is that they conducted research to whether or not exercise helps people stay fit. Really? You think that type of research would actually be done? It's not actually. In fact, this is an undeniable fact that exercise helps people maintain a slender figure. No, that's not fitness. That's something you talk about when you're talking about how a girl looks. She's got a slender figure. To conclude, even my cat doesn't like it. Consumption of high calorie shouldn't have a hyphen. Foods and technological advancements, have made people lead. No, didn't make people do it. Have allowed people to lead a lifestyle. What kind of a lifestyle? Everybody leads a lifestyle at the expense of their health. Nevertheless, broadcasting. See, now I know you're from India, because I understand that Indian teachers tell their students never repeat words. You must find a different way to say everything. No. This leads to broadcasting. Broadcasting is the use of television and radio to transmit ideas. And it doesn't fit here. Broadcasting, obesity-related issues. and encouraging individuals towards activities that involve, activities, plural, involve physical movement. Can you tell me an activity that does not involve physical movement? Sleeping is a pragmatic idea. No, that verb, that adjective doesn't fit. That helps the society. Which one? The means you're talking about a specific one. That helps society recover from an unhealthy lifestyle. Recover? Are they asking you to talk about how to recover? Godwinsmith, you've been on this board for some time. Recently, you have posted a lot of essays, and I would strongly suggest that you're going to be overwhelmed by the amount of feedback. Well, no, you're not, because no one's responding to you. But really, take a step back and try to write in a simpler way. Don't use all of these words that you see in yellow. Okay? All of it is just you following what your teachers have told you, and I'm telling you they are wrong. I can barely understand this because of this use of language, this use of trying to say something in a complicated way, which could be done much more simply. I wish you luck.